Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Spaying the Need Stories of Your Lifestyle. Today and during May, we have a great interviews and great inspiration from our graduating seniors from a variety of the area. And we have a very special guest today from Hubbard Eagles, Nikolas Hendrix, who has achieved the highest academic honors in their graduating class with a variety of others in the school district. Today, we'll be talking to them about their journey and lessons that they've learned. Nicholas, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So we talk a lot about kind of how seniors have kind of had a interesting high school because of the pandemic and kind of how you've worked through that. So talk a little bit about your journey from kind of just in high school in general.
Well, when the pandemic first started my freshman year, I was kind of excited to get those 2 weeks off. But soon after, I learned it wasn't going to be that easy. We got schoolwork, like, it was that Friday that we got it off. We were getting schoolwork already the next Monday online. So it was kind of a hard adjustment, but I got used to it and I kind of liked it after a while. I would just pump out my homework in the morning and then have the rest of the day to myself.
Well, was that how did your classmates handle that? Because we know that it was just huge mental for a lot of students. Because you like to interact with people. That's how we were all grown up and really kind of did it and really had a mental impact on a lot of students. Did you see a lot of that?
Right. Not too much. I mean, the people I hung out with, like, they were okay with it. I'm fortunate enough, like, I have a computer and a desk to work at from home, but I'd imagine some people don't. So it's probably tough for a lot of them.
Well, and we look at kind of that inspiration, kind of working through high school, getting through high school, and now graduating. What's that excitement you feel right now about graduating? What's it look like?
It's kind of a relief. Like, the whole 4 years has been pretty hard, and I've just been pushing myself the whole time. And so I don't know. I'm excited to go to college, but it's going to be challenging for sure.
What motivated you to kind of work hard and really achieve academic success?
It's not something I've always like wanted to do. Um, I'm pretty smart, so it came kind of naturally. But then I say around like sophomore year, my mom started pushing me in school and making sure I was taking the hardest classes. So then that really pushed me and like lit a belief in myself that I really could be something. And so since then, I've just been giving it my all, and I like the challenge though.
Well, and we look at those types of challenges that you've kind of mentioned through family and kind of what you've experienced. Can you share some of those challenges that you kind of faced while pursuing that high success of academic?
Yeah, I say the biggest is a balance because the whole time, like my whole life was focused on school and sports, and I would say like I didn't have like a lot of friends or a big social life because of that, but I don't really regret that. I understand that like sacrifices are necessary to get what you want to get in life. So yeah, of
Well, and you talked a little bit about how your family supported you. What
course.
does that feel like when you have that support, as some people may not have?
Yeah, it's very reassuring. I have great parents. Like my whole life, they've been there for me. Made sure I had everything I needed to have. I have great sisters, and yeah, it's just great to have a good supporting cast.
And you talked a little bit about academic. We talked a little bit about like academic setbacks from the pandemic, and you look at that. Is there any kind of study habits that you may can suggest to other individual or high school students that are now the sophomores, the juniors, now becoming that next level of seniors? What advice can you give them in that regards?
I don't think there's any like special secret to it. Like you just got to do it until like you know that you have it. Like don't do it till you get it right. Do it till you can't get it wrong. Like just keep studying over and over.
Do you feel that you kind of came with a great sense of academic with did you have great teachers, you got mentors?
For
Well,
sure.
talk a little bit about how those were significant impacts to you going through high school.
So my teachers are amazing. I'll tell anyone that like I wouldn't trade them for anything. They always helped me out when I was like going through whatever, or if I missed school or if I wasn't understanding something, they would help me. But when I came in freshman year, there was this one guy in particular. His name's Cam. He was the quarterback of the football team. a great basketball player, and top of his class, and that like really surprised me. I didn't think you could do all of those at the same time, and like ever since then, I've just been trying to like fill his shoes and be that person. So he was a great inspiration to me.
We, as we celebrate this past in the beginning of May, we talk about Teacher Appreciation Week. They have great impacts on you. You talked a little bit about teachers. What kind of impact have they given you? Because I know I've had teachers in the past that provided nothing but inspiration and mentoring to me as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it stretches beyond the classroom. My teachers are great people and like great role models, great parents, great fathers, like mothers. They're just great people, and I try to be like that every day.
And we look at now moving to the next level. We're looking at what the kind of like now you talked a little bit about work balance and as a high school kid you can only imagine what goes through nowadays from what's been stress level work balance. How did you manage the stress and maintain that healthy work life? Because you talked a little bit about the balance, but there's more to it than just sports and academics. There's more to it nowadays.
Right. So pretty much all of my stress would just come from like work I needed to get done. So whether that's homework or I needed to work out or something, like it stressed me if I didn't do it. And the only proper way to like get rid of that stress is to do it. So that really helped me stay motivated and just get my assignments done when I needed to, and really just helped push me. And that's how I dealt with the stress.
Well, and you talked a little bit about sports. And what did that look like when you? What sports did you kind of play, and what were your kind of main focuses on that?
So I played football and basketball all 4 years. I also played baseball when I was younger. So this is my first year playing baseball. And to be honest, I'm not that good. So, but I have a
Yeah,
game
there
for
were
it.
sports. There were sports I was what I thought I was good in, but I really wasn't.
Right.
I get it.
Yeah. So basketball, football, like those were very important to me throughout high school. And I spent all my summers, like all my free time trying to get better at those, whether it was lifting or training or watching film, getting with a quarterback trainer for a year. But yeah, that just consumed a lot of my life. But I love the journey. I love the process. So, and I'm just glad we had good seasons in those sports.
And as a fellow basketball referee, I kind of experienced the both sides of it from the academic to the sports. And I think one thing that we look at is as you've gone K to 12, and now you're graduating into that next level um, where you're going to college. What advice? I know we talked a little bit about advice, but I think I want to really join on this. What advice do you give those those juniors that are now become seniors and anyone that's looking at college? Because you've now kind of been through the process, you know where you're going, correct?
Right.
Where are you going?
Wise you.
Going to Youngstown State University, great school, got 2 degrees from there. What advice can you give them in regards to moving forward? Because people are in their junior year going into their senior year, they look at things differently. And I, what advice, or even just what was your experience going through that?
So I was always really indecisive when it came to college, and Wise you made it pretty easy for me. They had a counselor come into one of my classes and speak to us, and he was asking us like what we were interested in doing, and I really didn't know, but part of me wanted to be a doctor, and so I raised my hand for that, and he approached me after and like told me about their great med program or pre med program and scholarship opportunities they would have for me. And ever since then, it was just easy. That's where I knew I wanted to go. But yeah, I would say to young people like explore, look around, see what type of options you have, and find out what fits you best.
And would you say start that now before you get into the senior year? Or because I know I wasted, I did it when I started my senior year.
Yeah, I would try and do it as soon as possible. I think junior year, at least in Hubbard, you get a couple of days where you're allowed to go visit colleges, and you don't get it marked off on your attendance. So I'd say definitely start it early.
And we know that with academics comes what you do in the community. There of what talk a little bit about what kind of projects and volunteer you've done over the past.
Yeah, so I have this neighbor he's older, he's elderly, and through the past couple of summers, I've just helped him out a ton with his yard work and his house and cleaning. I just go over all the time and make sure that his stuff is in order. And he has a bunch of projects that I work on, but other things like volunteering with the Hubbard Youth Coalition, I've done a lot. With the football and basketball teams, I've been to camps, been doing the scoreboards, helped train those little kids. And then my sophomore year, I did a food drive with the Second Harvest Food Bank of Mahoning Valley. And I went to Shop and Save for a day, and people donated a lot of food in like 4 hours. It was like 373 pounds of food. So, yeah, those are just a couple of things I've done.
What stood out the most? What really touched you? Because I know, depending on what people volunteer for, there's always something that touches them throughout the course of their high school career.
Yeah, so that food drive that I did, I was only there for 4 hours, and that was so much food. It just shows me like how close the community is, especially at Hubbard, and like how people are willing to go out of their way to give to other people. It's really inspiring.
And it kind of shows a lot about leadership in what you've done community-wise as well as in the classrooms. I think what people may not understand is that there's more to it than just school and academics.
Absolutely.
And we talk a little bit about the positive impact, which I just mentioned. Can you share, we're kind of looking at the overall picture of the inspiration. What can you give inspiration-wise, as well as share any last final thoughts or advice that you want to give to kind of listeners just in general?
I'd say one of the biggest things I've learned is that you have to sacrifice things to get other things that you want. Like, if you want something and you have a goal, you have to give up things to get that. Like, you have to give up going out or hanging out with friends, or sometimes even sleep, which I wouldn't recommend. But you definitely have to sacrifice things to get what you want in life.
At the end, and I appreciate you taking time. I know you have a busy schedule. We're getting ready to graduation in a variety of different ways. Number one, I commend for what you've done in the classroom, outside the classroom. You are a good idol for the community as well as Hubbard. So at the end of each interview, I like to have some fun with some kind of rapid fire fun questions if the other ones weren't any fun. Sometimes these are harder than the ones I just asked. So are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So best experience
in high school? Oh,
it could be any time. It could be high school. It could be just in life.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to say I can't pick a specific one, but the football games were so fun. So each Friday, I don't know.
Okay. There's no, in my opinion, there's no right or wrong answer.
Oh yeah.
So, best accomplishment.
Probably being top of the class. We don't have valedictorians, but I'm like in the top 6 people. So.
Okay. So, if there was one person you would want to meet, past or present, who would it be and why?
I say Jesus. I mean, he's the perfect person. He's a great leader, spiritual leader, and I just look up to him. I want to see like who he was as a man, like in person, but I wouldn't be able to do that right now. So,
well, and to be honest, I feel that would be a really interesting conversation.
Of course.
So, we look at this as who is your role model in life?
My dad, absolutely. Like, he sacrifices so much for my family. He works all the time, like 6-7 days a week. Sometimes he's out of town a lot, just making sure that my family's together. And that's someone who I aspire to be like. I want to be a better version of him.
Nikolas, I appreciate you taking time. I know you got a lot going on, and we wish you nothing but the best. And we hope to see you in the news and doing good things at Youngstown State and coming back to the community and for sharing your inspirational story with us. We commend you for your dedication, your hard work, and the true testament of the power of education and the determination. We wish you all the best for future endeavors.
Thank you for having me.
And for all listeners, you can read his story on our website at expandingtheneed.com, as well as we encourage him to do good in the community like he has been. And we hope you've enjoyed this episode. We look forward to sharing more inspiring stories for our graduating seniors. Everyone, have a great night and have a great summer. Good night.